Hello, everybody, and today we're talking about ChatGPT. Again, it's the third episode this year. It's just had an insane amount of interest in this particular topic. So if you haven't heard of what ChatGPT is, obviously you can watch our previous episodes. But the easiest way to have a look is just log on and look at it. It's a free system. It's basically a chatbot, an AI chatbot, but it's loads more sophisticated than previous chatbots. It's actually quite eerie. What me and Dean was saying, it's quite human-like, which it can really trick you thinking that there's actually someone on the other end writing those messages, but there isn't. It's AI. But the really interesting thing is that it's impacted the financial markets. It's actually started to have an impact. So, Dean, can you go into a bit more detail into what's happened?
Absolutely. Thanks, Tom. There's so much to talk about AI at the moment that it's a bit difficult to separate hype from reality. That being said, we saw some reality recently with the first real financial market impacts. It was to an online education company called Chegg, which saw a near halving of its share price in a single day after the company reported a hit to its business from generative artificial intelligence. In essence, some students started to turn to chatbots like ChatGPT for answers rather than subscribing to Chegg's services.
So that's obviously a huge disappointment for that particular company, but there must also be some positive impacts as well from generative AI.
Yeah, you're right. It's clearly not a great outcome for Chegg and companies like them. However, as with all big technological leaps, there are big winners as well as losers. For every Nokia, there was an Apple. So the challenge with AI technology is the speed with which it can be deployed.
So who is sort of co-opting it and using it already in their businesses?
I'm sure there are lots, and there are lots of companies who are keen to talk about it for the positive halo effects. But here's a couple of examples. Firstly, Salesforce. They're a cloud-based software company, and they plan to incorporate an AI chat function into their workplace messaging app called Slack, which helps to provide conversation summaries. Just think, no one needs to take meeting minutes any longer. And the second is Speak, a language learning app which provides, using AI, a sort of speaking companion that gives users real-time feedback when learning a new language. Speaking as someone who's always struggled to learn new languages, that would be really helpful rather than sort of the usual simple feedback that one gets given. So the benefits and disruption of generative AI are likely to be felt across all types of industries.
You and me both, especially with the language. When I'm trying to learn Norwegian, my partner's Norwegian, and I'm sure she'd prefer me to talk to an AI bot rather than her to learn. So that's definitely a good advancement. So there are particular companies that have been using generative AI, but I think that this is something bigger than just using AI for specific companies. I think it's a little bit like when Bill Gates put a PC in everyone's home, or when Steve Jobs put an iPhone in the hand of everyone. It feels like bigger than just a fancy AI chatbot. Has there been any studies to show like a broader impact to financial markets rather than just these individual companies?
Yeah, there has. We've seen 3 researchers from UCLA have a go at quantifying the financial market impact. And their study showed, I guess what you'd say, a sizable 0.4% daily excess return for companies with higher exposure to AI following the release of ChatGPT versus companies with lower exposure to it. There's a big caveat here to flag that the amount of data under analysis is very small, so that sort of results may change over time, but it's certainly an interesting first look into the potential that it brings. Some of the potential benefits of generative AI being the ability to, I guess, firstly, replace certain types of labor in favor of AI tools, and that reduces costs. 2 would be using AI to help workforces to become more productive. So you could think of a lawyer using AI to summarize lots of data and case information to help them prepare for something that they're working on. And 3, there's every chance that with such a democratic technology, the gains simply accrue to consumers, and we'll end up with better products and services at the same or lower costs.
Yeah, it's such an interesting topic. I actually personally use it maybe once or twice a week at work already. I don't know if I've ever told you that, but it's something that I actually use a little bit. It's really interesting stuff. I mean, this is the third time we've talked about it this year. We'll probably be talking about it again, or in some shape or form. But yes, we'll keep everyone up to date with what's going on. If you haven't been on ChatGPT or one of the other sort of generative AI bots, take a look. They're all free. I'm sure you'll be impressed. My mind was blown. My small mind was blown. But anyway, that does bring us to a close. So thanks so much, Dean, for your time today. And thanks everyone for watching as always. And we'll be back again next week with another episode.